Last time on Delightful Travelers, we went on a weekend getaway to the island of Mykonos. The island was unfortunately too crowded for us, so after a few days, we were ready to return home. In this video, we're back in Naxos, but it's our final day on the island. It will be hard to leave this place, but sadly, it's time to move on.
I'm Trevor, and this is Anna. In this series, we've been living out one of our ultimate dreams, living in Greece. Make sure you hit subscribe and click the like button so you don't miss a single video. A huge thanks to our channel members and patrons for making these videos possible. Welcome back to Naxos.
I'm on my way now. I'm on my way now. I'm on my way now.
Well, so many people told us maybe we were making a mistake choosing Naxos as the place, the island that we want to live on for a month. And mainly they said, because October, the fall can be so windy here.
Well, they certainly got the wind right, but we still don't think it was a bad decision. They also told us it would be too cold and a lot of things would be closed.
So sadly, this is going to be our last video from here on Naxos. And throughout the course of the video, we're going to be talking about the things we really liked about living here, about staying here for so long, and maybe some things that we didn't like so much.
So today we thought we'd take you guys out of the main town and away from the beach and get way up in the mountains here. You can't even see the ocean, and we're in this valley, and of course you can see, well, look what's behind us. Just look at this thing.
Believe it or not, Naxos has more than one temple. If you're watching our previous videos, you would have seen us go to the Temple of Apollo, which is right in the middle of town. You clearly can't miss it when you come in. But off in the middle of Naxos is the Temple of Demeter. It's actually from the same time as the other temple, so it's the 6th century BC. It is devoted to Demeter, not sure if I'm saying that correctly, and she was the ancient goddess of agriculture.
Ooh, it's windy over here, you guys, but one of the huge perks of being here this time of year towards the end of October, we're really late in the season, is we have this all to ourselves right now. Like completely all to ourselves. There were some other cars, but people seem to go up and just go. I think it's because of the wind, but we're here to make a video. The wind's not gonna stop us.
A little fun fact for you about this temple. It was built in the Doric architectural style, which also influenced the Parthenon in Athens, which was built after this.
So I know a lot of you have been wondering why we've not been seeing a lot of like architecture, Greek architecture, and in the comments you guys have been saying that. So here's the thing, we were in Italy before this, we've been in Greece now for well over a month, and we come across stuff like this all the time, and I don't want to say we're getting used to it, but we're almost taking it for granted a little bit. We just see it every single day. So that's why we don't always come up to these attractions. But this one is worth it. This is one of the things to do while you're right here on Naxos. We're gonna try to go behind this little, I don't know, is this a church?
Yeah, there's like a little chapel up here.
Yeah.
So like, did the Christians come along and feel like they needed to have a chapel next to like an ancient goddess
Maybe.
temple?
The reason we're coming here is to block the wind.
Yes. Is my hair okay? I feel like it's gonna be all over the place in this video. But I wanted to point this out. They have like renderings of what this temple would have looked like, and wow, totally different obviously than what it looks like right now being just ruins, but it had like a roof on it. You could go inside. Wow, that's amazing.
So back to the bad decision. Was it a bad decision? So we'll give you guys this one. It is a very windy island. It's not windy every day though. I'd say it was about half the time we were here, half windy, half not. But when it's windy, like, look out.
Yeah, the question of the weather during October seems to be the big question that everyone always has, because I think a lot of people want to come here, but they're a little nervous that it won't be hot enough or that it's way too windy. So we basically found like there will be 4 to 5 days of a lot of wind, and it's obviously cooler when the wind comes up, so it might be anywhere from like 19 to 23 each day. And when it's windy, it feels a little bit cooler, but then the wind goes away. Like the last week we had 23, 24 every day and no wind.
Totally.
So just expect like a little bit.
It goes up and down, but towards early October we had weather in the 30s, like 30 degrees Celsius. So keep that in mind.
And rain. We had one day of a little bit of rain, and throughout an entire month. That's it.
Wow, it just doesn't rain here, like at all.
So if you're wondering about visiting the temple, it costs €4 per adult, and you park on the road, so a little bit weird. There's not really a parking lot. I don't know what it would be like in the summertime, because you just really park on the road behind the previous car. It's about a 3-minute walk uphill, not too hard, but if you do have a hard time walking, especially on these stones, you might have a little bit of a hard time, but most people, it's very, very easy. Now, on to the next place.
Well, welcome to the next location. You can't tell from this scene, but we are way up in the mountains of Naxos. It's a little bit cooler here. Now I have the hoodie zipped up. The town we're in is called Apeiranthos. Now, pronunciation, I'm not sure, but I think it is correct. And what's really interesting about this town is we heard it's almost entirely made of marble, and right away we just walked into the main area and I can see nothing but marble. What are you looking at over here?
Come check this out. There is a donkey right there.
How do you call a donkey? We tried this before with a horse. Hey, buddy. Oh, I hear a cat too.
Called a cat, apparently.
Oh, it's coming. It's coming. Oh, the anticipation, you guys. Oh, the anticipation. Come on. Aw. So we're surprised. There's still a few things open up here. There's a restaurant there. Look at this. Oh, that's pretty cool. Yeah.
I found out a few things about this town before we came here. One, it has 1,100 inhabitants. Maybe that explains why a lot of things are still open, because, you know, people have to eat somewhere and shop somewhere during the whole year. And I think there are a lot of tourists that come here, but again, there's not that many tourists around right now. The name of the town actually means plenty of flowers. So I wonder if we'll see lots of flowers around. It's very, very famous for its architecture. We've kind of already talked about that. I think pretty much almost the entire town is made out of marble. There's also, like pretty much all towns here in Greece, especially on the islands, you're gonna find a Venetian castle in the center.
And if we got anything wrong, you can blame Google.
Yes,
because we're using their phone.
Google's
So check this out, you guys. You can see there's like a bell tower there, the top of the castle, and then over here there's like a set of kind of marble stairs that just goes to who knows where. Do you see anything?
I do. I don't think this town could be any cuter. Look at this street. How
Wow.
beautiful is it?
It's like one of the most inviting alleys I've ever seen.
It's
We're
gorgeous.
clearly going to have to go that way. I can't reiterate enough how good of a decision it was to come to Greece this time of year. Look at this, you guys. It's just us. Most places we go on the island, it's just us. So if you ever want to have a Greek island to yourself, come here at the end of shoulder season.
So just a minute ago, I was talking about how I was surprised to see that everything, or a lot of stuff, is open here in this relatively small town. And you might be wondering, like, did a lot of stuff close throughout the course of our time here? Because we did talk in the first video that most stuff was open, and we said we'd kind of mention how things were kind of closing throughout the course of the month. So when we got here, I think it was September, the end of September, something like that, everything was open. There was lots of people around. Gradually, it seemed like each week a new place or a few new places would close. So the very first week of October, a few things closed, and then like the week after, a few more things. However, there's still loads of stuff open. Most of our favorite stuff, thankfully, stayed open. Some of them stay open into November. Some stuff stays open the entire year. So you're never not going to be able to find good food. There's lots of restaurants that stay open. I think the big loss for us, funny enough, there was a lunch place that we went to almost every few days to get a falafel wrap. It's perfect for splitting. We loved it for lunch. They closed like the middle of October, but that in general, it was the biggest loss for us. So that's saying like a lot of stuff really stayed open.
Well, we just stopped into a place to get something to eat. We got one of our favorite Greek beers. Since it's our last time here on the island, we're going with a Mamos. But check out where we're at right now. We're in this kind of like little, it's almost like a courtyard, and there's an amazing view here as well. It's so amazing. I'm so happy there's places open up here, because honestly, driving up, I was like, are these places going to be open, or are we just going to like a ghost town? Luckily, it's not a ghost town.
For our afternoon snack, we're actually going for something we have never tried before, believe it or not. This is called fava of Shinusa. Shinusa is actually an island just south of Naxos. I had to actually look that up. So it's very, very nearby. Fava beans. And they were told that it's very, very similar to hummus.
Oh no, check it out. We just got invaded by a tour group.
I know, believe it or not. I'm surprised to see like a big group of tourists.
I think it's a good thing though. They're here, they're
It's
going to
nice.
support the restaurants that are
Absolutely.
open. But I didn't expect to see a tour group.
Now back to the task at hand. Let's try this dip. I love that it's just sitting in some Greek olive oil. There's some red onions on top. So yes, I would say hummus is a very, very good comparison to this. Very mild, there's nothing overly strong about it. I wouldn't say there's like a ton of garlic or anything overly pungent in it. It's nice that they actually put those onions on top, because it does give you a little bit of like extra zing to it. Of course, olive oil. It doesn't get any better than here in Greece. So yeah, this is a nice little late afternoon snack. Well, we've met a lot of very cute Greek cats on this trip, but this is the first one that's actually launched into my lap.
There it is. Can we get it to look at the camera? Look at this little guy. There it is. Hello. What a cutie.
No. One thing I will miss here is definitely the Greek cat as it nuzzles into my shirt.
It's trying to like make muffins on you. Well, this is something you don't see every day. Oh, wow. Look at that. It's like kind of steep stairs too.
I know, not every day you're walking up a stair and you pass a horse.
In a random little Greek village. So I'm sure you guys are wondering, like, what was it like? Like, what was it like to be here for well over a month on a Greek island in shoulder season? It has been phenomenal.
It has. We definitely consider doing it again.
Oh, yeah.
It's been amazing. We've met interesting people. It's been really quiet. We felt like we've got places to ourselves.
Yep.
We haven't felt like we've been crowded around a million people like you would in the summertime. It's just been really lovely.
Yeah, we kind of went with our gut on this one. Not with Greece in general. We love Greece, but we were a little bit concerned about, what was open and what wasn't, and is it too late in the season? And we can tell you, if you're thinking about doing this, if that's something you're into and you have, you can kind of go for a month or so or longer, I would do it, and I would come right around this time.
Yes, there are a couple of things that I'm a little bit disappointed that we kind of missed out on. I think we were a little too late in the season. One is to go out on the boat tours. There's loads of boat tours you can do from the main part of town. I think they go into like caves, and you can go like swimming and snorkeling and that kind of thing. Just a little bit too cold for that and windy, so it was hard to pick a day and like not know that you're gonna get a good day for it.
Yeah. And speaking of just boats in general, I know a lot of you have kind of asked us, like, why haven't you gone to a lot of other islands, like some of the small ones? I know we've got a lot of questions about, right?
Yeah, like we did do Mykonos, but we wanted to do some smaller, lesser known islands, but we talked to some locals and they thought maybe we were a bit too late in the season, that most stuff would be closed. We could have gone and done it, but we just probably would have been walking around some empty streets and maybe had trouble finding
it was
some stuff.
hard. It's not easy to even, like, obviously we can't talk to the locals on the islands we were thinking about going to, so we could only rely on Google Maps, and Google Maps, they're not always updated, so it looked like a lot of things, restaurants, cafes, weren't open on some of the
However,
small
if we're wrong and we're wrong, just leave a
tell
message
us.
in the comments so that people will know.
And then we'll know, because I can guarantee you this, we are 100% going to come back to Greece again on an island, probably an island, maybe the mainland though, for a long time. At some point, just we don't know when. What about the things we might miss though?
Most things. I'm going to miss this beautiful architecture, the stunning Cyclades, just the white and the blue and all the pretty towns. I miss the food. All the food, so good.
I know, I think I'm going to miss
Beaches.
the coffee. Greek
Coffee.
Oh.
Speaking of coffee, should we go get one?
We should. We're now back over in Chora, the main town, and at our favorite coffee shop called Nevermind. They're making our Freddo Cappuccinos. Yes, we had to get Freddo Cappuccinos once again before we leave. Honestly, our favorite coffee on the entire planet. I wish sometimes I could just get like a cup of whipped milk. I love the whipped milk so much, but then there'd be no coffee in it, right? But
This really is the best coffee ever, and it's honestly a travesty that it hasn't made it to different parts of the world, because I'm going to miss it so much. But let's talk about the island a little bit. This really has been the perfect island for us. There's different cuisines, of course, as we've mentioned. We love Greek food, but it's always great for us to have different types of food. There's an Asian restaurant here. You can get burgers. Like, you literally can get pretty much or almost everything here. And like I said, most of it has stayed open, so it's not like we felt like we've really lost a lot of restaurants since things started closing. There's beaches, there's mountains, you can go hiking if you're into that. Like, the nature is just incredible. Even going from town to town today, we didn't film any of that, but it's worth just going out and exploring the island, because it's probably bigger than you might think. You just think of like the main little town, or the big town, and then the little towns outside and the beaches, but there's so much more to Naxos than that. Such authentic little towns all over the place. It's a beautiful, beautiful spot.
So the question is, would we come back here to Naxos and do all this again?
Absolutely. In case you didn't figure it out, we really, really loved our time here. We'd happily come back. At the same time, there's so many islands in Greece, so I'd love to try another one. So maybe we'll ask you guys, like, what do you think in shoulder season, especially, and getting into low season, is the best island this time of year? Not too windy, stays relatively warm, you can still go to the beach, it doesn't rain too much. Does that exist? Like,
now, I know we've gotten comments already through the videos. A lot of people said Rhodes would be, or Rhodos would be a good.
But then I think
island
somebody
to do.
commented and said it gets rainy in that area.
Yeah, does it rain in Rhodes in October? I don't know. I think it rains a little more than here, but we thought about that because we've been to Rhodes before. But maybe that's a future.
Or somewhere around Rhodes.
Yeah,
For us, it has to be a big, not too small of an island.
Yeah.
Big, like Naxos is really the perfect size.
Now this is gonna do it for our time here on the island. We're leaving.
Can't believe it.
I know. So we hope you guys enjoyed this Greek island living series. I know we have. It's been an ultimate dream of ours to do something like this.
It really has.
And I still can't believe we actually made it happen and pulled it off. If we went back 5 years ago and we said, hey, let's go like live on a Greek island someday.
It's funny because you taught like even years ago when we were traveling a lot, you still talk about like, wouldn't it be nice to like slow travel someday and get to try out living in different places? But it still kind of feels like a dream, like it's never actually going to happen.
Well, and at the time, like going back, say it was 5 years ago, it feels like it's impossible to happen. You're like, well, how do you do that? And then you're like, oh, it's too big of a task. But it's like little by little, we slowly got there and here we are. And yeah, it just feels really good. So we are going to Athens next, just for a few days.
Yeah,
and
very short little stopover.
We think we're filming, so you might see us back with one more video in Athens. But if we're not, we're just not 100% sure yet. We're gonna pick you up in a brand new country.
We're so excited for this. So this country that we're going to next has been pretty much at one of the top,
Maybe the top,
if not the top 2 to
And
3 new countries for us
new
that we've
country.
never been to. And we can't wait. It's gonna be hot.
It's gonna be hotter than this, that's for sure.
Yeah.
And in a whole different part of the world. So leave your guesses below, but we just want to thank each and every one of you for watching, getting this far in the video. It's Trevor, Anna, Delightful Travelers. Hit subscribe, leave us a comment. You know the drill, and an extra thanks to our patrons and all of our channel members. You guys mean the world to us. All of you mean the world to us, but they just go an extra step, which helps us stay on the road and produce these
like
videos.
This. Yeah.
I know.
All right, guys, that's it.
From Naxos for the last time for a while, wishing you delightful travels.
See you soon.